All right, so let's go ahead and start with our class today. And today's class, it's a pretty lengthy one, so it is about, it's going to go all the way to the end of the hour, just to give you guys a heads up. It might go a little past, because obviously we're starting at 1:05. All right, but this is actually going to cover as much as possible of the KW Command platform, where to locate everything, and really to give you a huge overview on how you can actually utilize the entire platform and access everything. So the first thing we want to do, just getting back to the basics, is access the command platform. All right, so in order to do that, what you'll want to do is go to agent.kw.com. All right, agent.kw.com will give you access to the back end of the platform immediately. All right, so once we're on agent.kw.com, like I am right now, then this is where you can sign in immediately. All right, so as you can see, it's going to ask for your username and your password on here, and you can see all the people I've helped out recently. All right, so in this case, we can actually put inside our username, and it's going to be the exact same username that we'll use for MyKW, for KW Connect, for Kelly, for Keller Mortgage. Right, they're all going to be the exact same username and same password. All right, so I'm going to put inside my username on here. No, I appreciate you trying to present on here, but I'll go ahead and keep doing it. All right, and then we're going to put inside the password as well. All right, so once again, if you forget your password or anything, fingers crossed that's the proper one. I'm sure I'm just like you guys. I save my password on everything, and man, I've got an iPhone. The iPhone 11, is that what we're on? I don't know. I've got the one with the 3 cameras, the Pro one. And it's got the Face ID on there, which is the coolest thing ever. I'm sure other phones have it as well, and I just never paid attention to it. But now I don't have to remember any passwords, which is a good and bad thing. All right, so luckily I remembered that one. Perfect. All right, so this will allow you to access it. And of course, if you need to, you can always click the password reset email option, and that'll send a reset email over to your email you have on file to reset this password immediately. All right, and that is actually the email you'll have on file under MyKW in the white pages. All right, but before we actually jump into everything on here, let's first talk about what we're seeing on here. And let's make this screen as big as possible, so I'll get rid of that bookmarks bar. All right, so this is our dashboard that you can actually utilize. So this is the dashboard of the KW Command homepage. All right, so these are some of the main applications or widgets that you may want to utilize on a daily basis. All right, so obviously when you first go into a dashboard, typically you're going to be taking a look at all the items you want to check out each day. All right, new statistics, new leads, new items you need to do. All right, and all of that is going to be accessible on here. And the cool part is you can actually click this Customize Home option at the top right up here to once again customize this immediately too. All right, so once we're actually taking a look at everything on here, there you go. All right, once we're taking a look at everything that we're actually displaying on this home page, once again, you can click that Customize Home option to move the widgets around, but just checking out what I currently have set up on here. So first thing first, we have the task. All right, so the task section on here are going to be any task that we have that we need to do. All right, so any task at all at the end of the day. Now, these could be tasks that we've actually set up ourselves. They could be tasks from Smart Plans, or in this case, they could also be tasks from our opportunities that we've set up inside our checklist on there. All right, so anything that we may need to do, this will be accessible on here. And these tasks are also going to be accessible over inside our Task Manager that we'll talk about a little bit later on, and also under Kelly via the Task section too. Now, beyond that, on the right-hand side, what I currently have set up, and of course, once again, your homepage may look different because you may have customized it. All right, but now I have the recent leads on here. This is going to display any lead that has recently come over through my website. All right, through everyone is trying to present on here. Here we go. All right, through my website, through my app, through my landing pages. All right, any brand new leads will automatically display on here for us to utilize. All right, now this will also display over inside our contact section too. So I just want to give you a heads up on there. All right, now below that, we're also going to have our goals. All right, so obviously these are all of our goals that we have set up for 2020. So whenever these were set up, hopefully originally back in December or November of 2019 or in January of 2020, all right, this is where you can actually track how well you're doing and how close you are to actually reaching that goal for the year. All right, this is going to take into account, all right, what is your GCI goal? So I did a standard one of 100,000, and then based on that, it said, all right, well, how much are your expenses? So I said, all right, well, my expenses are about 41,000. So in order to reach my goal of making 100,000 on the year, I really need to reach 141,000 in order to get to that. All right, and then it's going to take that and break it down based on what's your average cost per sale. All right, what's your commission percentage? All right, and then it's going to take that into account and show you, all right, based on what your goal is, this is how many leads you need. This is how many appointments you need, how many under contracts, how many closed units. All right, so you can actually get to that goal at the end of the day. All right, so that's a great way. Yes, it'll be manually tracking it on here, but this will help out tremendously. All right, and then of course on the right-hand side, we have our notepad. So if you want to add inside any type of note on here, you're definitely more than welcome to. All right, and as you can see, you can jot down any note that you want to. This is one that I left back on March 10th, back when life was still normal. Back then, I think it was normal. I don't know, the days are running together now. All right, but in this case, you can put inside any note that you want to. So if you are coming back, for instance, maybe you are calling certain people inside your database and you're coming back on here. All right, you're more than welcome to add this in and you can come back to access that immediately. All right. And if I scroll down even further, I can see my database health. This is going to take into account about 10-ish different factors of how healthy your contacts are. All right, do you have a name? Do you have a phone number? Do you have an email address? Do you have an address, like a property address? Are there neighborhoods linked up? Do you have a birthday? Do you happen to have social media information? All right, there's a bunch of different items that'll be needed in order to get to that 100% on here. All right, so I just want to give you a heads up. All right, quick favor for you guys, because we got an hour class to go. There is a button on Join Me where you can ask to present. If you can avoid clicking that, that'd be awesome, because I have to deny it each time on here. You won't see it on your screen, but that's what I'm clicking on randomly. All right, now you can actually see what your percentage is, and obviously the closer you are to 50%, then you'll actually be in that green on here. But then you can also compare this to people in your market center, people in your state, all agents in production brackets above yours. All right, you can actually see all these different items to see how you compare to everyone. All right, now on the right-hand side, this is one of my favorite ones. You can actually see all the updates that have recently come out. Typically, KW is bringing these out. Previously, it was on Fridays. Now it looks like they're coming out on Mondays or so of all new updates that have recently come out that you may want to take a look at. They just had a slew of updates come in, so it looks like they were working hard over the holiday weekend, to say the least. All right, but you can actually see, all right, here are all the new updates or glitches that have been fixed that you may want to take a look at right away. All right, and I don't think there's anything on here yet. Yeah, they used to have a what's next. It looks like they stopped that on there, and that's okay. All right, and then finally down here we have some design updates. So you can actually see, all right, all the new designs that have recently come out for agents to utilize in the design section, along with featured designs that you can use too. All right, so you can actually see what other agents are creating as well at the end of the day, and that way you can get an idea as to, what other people are doing with the designs to help out. All right, so this is all accessible for you to utilize. All right, so that's just the home page on here. And once again, you can always click that Customize Home option at the top right, and this will allow you to customize what's showing on here, or you can remove a couple items too. All right, so right now I have all 7 displaying, but if I said, hey, I don't care about the designs updates, I can remove that. Or if I want to, maybe I say, hey, I really care about the designs updates, I can move this up to the top. All right, so completely up to you. All right, now on the left-hand side, we're going to have all of our applets, and that's what we're going to spend a good amount of this class on today, just to give you a heads up. So for the time being, I'm going to leave that as is, all right? But we're going to talk about this top bar first before we get into that. All right, so currently we're under the command section. So this is where we can access all the different KW command tools on here and all the different applets that I just showed for a hot second. Now there's also a connect option on here too. Now, this is not going to have all the KW Connect tools that you'll typically have on KWConnect.com, but it will have some that you may want to take a look at. All right, so it'll have some information on, the different groups that you're a part of, any type of, chats that are going on there. You can see some of your referral information back there too. All right, so it's not going to have all the different Connect information that you'll get from KWConnect.com, so I'd still suggest going to KWConnect.com directly. All right, but it will have some top items you may want to check out. Now on the right-hand side over here, we're going to have this little storefront. All right, this is the KW Marketplace. All right, the Marketplace at the end of the day, the best way that I can really describe it to you guys is think of the App Store or the Play Store if you utilize iPhone or Android. All right, it's basically a way to get add-on items to utilize with command. All right, so the Marketplace is kind of, at the end of the day, the KW Store really, where you can purchase stuff to add into KW Command to utilize. All right, so think of KW Command as the iPhone and the marketplace as the apps. All right, so that way, and obviously these are all the standard ones over here that come on your iPhone. All right, now some of the items or the applications inside the marketplace are free to use, and some are paid. All right, so you'll be able to see what the costs are, whether it's a one-time cost, typically a monthly cost. All right, stuff to kind of help out on here. All right, now next to that, you're going to have the bell icon. Now, notoriously, whenever you see a bell icon, that usually means that it's a notification. All right, in this case, that is spot on what it is. This is where you can actually see all of your notifications that are popping up on command. All right, you'll be able to see, do I have a new lead? All right, has someone updated something inside my opportunity? Has my import come through? Or if I exported contacts, is that displaying on here? This will show all the new notifications you may want to take a look at. Now, these notifications, some of them, especially the new leads, will also display over on Kelly for you. All right, there's not a way, unfortunately, to receive a text or email notification quite yet, but if you want to receive a notification of a brand new lead, for instance, you can download Kelly, and that'll be the workaround for this. All right, so right now I'm all caught up, so it looks like I'm good to go. If I did have a new notification, though, a red dot will actually display on here. I've got a 50-50 chance of this. I think it's going to display on the right-hand side. It might be on the left, but regardless, you'll see a red dot that'll pop up on here. All right, and then of course on the right-hand side, you're going to have this question mark icon. Much like with the bell icon, how that means notification, question mark is typically about questions or support. So if I click on this question mark icon, that'll give me all the different helpful information I can utilize. All right, so if I want to access Keller Williams University and actually find some additional online training, I can do that right away. If I want to chat with support, you're definitely more than welcome to, or you can even send a chat email to them if it's outside of hours. Now, the chat hours are Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Central Time. So obviously on the Eastern, it's 10 to 6. On Mountain, it's going to be 8 to 4, 7 to 3, obviously over on Pacific Time. All right, so just make sure you do the conversion on there to chat with everything. All right, so if you do want to hop in there to chat with KW support, that is an option on here too. All right, or if you're looking at KW Command and you're like, man, I really wish it did X, or fill in the blank, you can actually post that idea on ideas.kw.com, and that is where KW will actually pick up some of the new ideas as to what they want to utilize on here. All right, so the cool part about KW Command is it's built for agents by agents. I think on the homepage it says powered for agents by agents or something of that sort. All right, I've always just said built for, so same thing. All right, but in this case, that'll help to actually see what do you guys want, all right? Because this is your platform to utilize as a KW agent. All right, so I'm going to X out of that, or of course, as you can see down here, it's been popping up. There is a support option that you can always click on too. It'll give you a little Kelly chatbot, or if you wait a little bit longer, then the little option to get in touch will pop up on here too, so you can actually chat with support. All right, now moving right along though, if you guys are following along with me, feel free to jump on this now. I'm going to click on my name up here at the top right. All right, so I'm going to click on my name, and it's going to give me a drop down of a couple different items I can take a look at. All right, so I can check out my profile, which is going to be my KW Connect profile. All right, now this is going to be accessible for other agents to view, specifically on the referral end. All right, but this is where I can actually update my KW Connect profile. I can go to my settings, which is what we're going to do next. All right, so just to give you guys a heads up in case you want to click on it right away, feel free. All right, so we can access the back-end settings of our KW Command account. I can find additional training options over here on KW Connect, or of course I can log out. All right, so if you're ever on obviously a public computer in the office, or a public library, wherever there might be a public computer, obviously you'll probably want to sign out. All right, but let's go and click on our name up here at the top right and click that settings option. This will display all of our settings that are available inside Command and how we can utilize them even further. Now, the reason I always suggest starting with this section, so whenever I do the overview class, I always say, hey, let's go to the settings first, is because some of the information that you're going to add inside on the settings on here will auto-populate into your other applications that we're going to talk about next. All right, so this is where you can actually update your marketing information, your IDX website information, your app info. You can sync different applications. All right, so this settings place is going to be one of your best friends. All right, so I'm going to click on settings real quick. All right, and the first thing that's going to pull up is going to be our command settings, and this is going to be all of our integrated applications. All right, I'm going to go and click on this little command settings option up here at the top left so we can actually go through it too. All right, so the first one we're on is the applications. I'm going to click on that so it'll change a different color so we can actually see it too. All right, now this is going to show all the applications you currently have linked up on your command account. All right, now remember how I was talking about that marketplace on here is where all the applications are going to come from, and it's basically like apps on your iPhone. Well, some of these are automatically in the back end for you to utilize, or of course you can click on here to access them even further. Now, if you have any connected applications, like I have DocuSign connected, .loop connected, I've got Facebook on here, I have PieSync syncing over contacts. All right, you can actually see all those under the connected apps section. All right, as long as it says connected and then obviously current status on here, we're good to go. All right, or if I scroll down, I can actually view all the additional applications that are available for me. All right, so if I want to link up my Twitter account on here, I can. So that way I can start to actually post out on Twitter. All right, if I want to come over here and sync Gmail so I can sync the interactions from my KW.com email, I can do that too. All right, or I can set up Twilio if I want to send out text message marketing. All right, all of this is available for you to utilize. Now, one thing to note though, whenever you click on Connect Account, I don't know why I needed to say it like that. Whenever you click on Connect Account, I don't need to pronunciate that too much. All right, make sure that you have, let me click on this again, there we go. All right, make sure that you have your pop-up blocker turned off, because if you notice a pop-up comes up on here. All right, so this may block that pop-up, but you'll want to be able to turn off that pop-up blocker on your web browser, so then you can sign in immediately and connect this. All right, and that'll help out tremendously for you to utilize this even further. All right, so I just want to give you a heads up of how you can actually go through and connect this immediately. Now, one thing I always like to point out, though, on the application section is today, as of April 14th. All right, so as of April 14th, all right, this is where we can actually see the email services section. And the reason I like to specify the date is in case you're watching this in the future, obviously, you know, some things may have changed. All right, but as of April 14th, Command Email is the email platform that you'll utilize for the smart plans. Whereas if you're doing any type of campaigns, and we'll talk about that very soon, you'll need to utilize MailChimp. Now in the future, it more than likely will all change to Command Email is my ultimate guess on here. All right, but for the time being, I always like to tell people, hey, you'll need a MailChimp account in order to actually send this out on the campaign section. So I just want to let you know about that. Now for the command email though, when we're sending out any type of smart plan, whether it's our monthly neighborhood nurture or, it's not called download my mobile app, but it's the mobile app campaign. All right, it's going to send from a specific KW.com email that's registered to you directly. All right, but you can actually click on this manage option on the right-hand side, and that'll allow you to go through and change the sending name and the reply to email. All right, so whenever anyone replies back to the email you've sent out from your smart plan, this is what will pop up and display. All right, now with command email, much like you had it on the prior eEdge platform through Market Leader, you are currently limited to 5,000 emails per month. All right, so whenever the campaign section takes over on command email, hopefully in the near future, all right, you do have the ability to increase this with an additional subscription through the KW Marketplace. All right, and they have, options of 10,000. I believe there's 15, 20,000. There's a bunch of different options for how many emails you can send out each month as well. All right, but 5,000 are available for free on here, or of course you can click on Manage Subscription to actually purchase additional ones too. All right, so if you have a massive database, you might need that. All right, so I just want to show you where the applications are and how you can go through and click on them to access it. All right, below applications, you also have to have the contact section. Now for the contacts, one thing to note on here, it is a two-step process to actually delete a contact. All right, so if you have a contact inside your contact section, I'm going to say contact 4 more times. All right, and we're going to talk about the contacts in a second. That's going to be the next application we'll talk about. All right, if you have one in there, though, that you do not want anymore, you just want to kind of get rid of them completely, you first have to archive them, and then you can actually delete them completely. All right, so you can actually delete it on the contact archive. All right, so it's kind of a two-step process, really a fail-safe at the end of the day. So if you didn't mean to delete them, that's okay. All right, you can come back on here and re-add them immediately from the archive section. Now, if you just want to start fresh, there is an option to wipe your entire database. Now, one thing to note, there is no going back from this. So if you do wipe your entire database, don't do that, just carelessly. All right, so don't take this with a grain of salt. All right, so make sure that whenever you are wiping your database, you know exactly what you want to do on here. All right, that is going to start everything back from square one. All right, you can also view all of your custom tags on here. This is basically how you're going to group all of your contacts. All right, so if you're utilizing a different platform like Top Producer, I believe they call them types. eEdge calls them groups, obviously. My favorite is, I think it's Contactually calls them buckets. That was always my favorite one. All right, so you can actually put them in as tags on here, and that's just going to be another way to filter out your contacts. All right, or if you want to mimic your current CRM to move everything over to Command, you can actually add inside custom fields on here. All right, the custom fields will actually allow you to go through and specify, hey, outside of just the standard first name, last name, email, phone number, all right, over inside my current CRM, I also had this field, whatever it might be, the open house basically. Did they come to that? All right, you can add inside an open house custom field on here too to add that to each of your contacts. All right, there are even opportunity options on here where you can actually archive an opportunity, and an opportunity, not an archive. An opportunity is going to be your lead to close sales pipeline. All right, so that's going to be how you can actually track everything in the back end. All right, or there's even opportunity settings on here, and the biggest one is the design template for your offers. All right, you can also access some info on your agent sites as well, so you can add inside some neighborhoods you want to spotlight. You can get an idea as to what your landing pages will look like. The biggest question we always get, I don't want to say it's the biggest question, but one of the top questions we typically receive is, I'm in the back end, I'm looking at my landing page like I'm looking right now. It's got my info on it, but it shows Austin information. It shows Texas info. How do I change that? All right, well, in this case, this is just an example as to what this will actually look like. All right, so I just want to give you a heads up on there. So even though it says Barton Hills on here, this is just to give you an idea of, hey, with my information on here and with the color scheme that I've chosen, this is what my landing page will look like when I start to create it. All right, so I just want to give you a heads up. This is just a preview at the end of the day. All right, and then of course the final thing on here, we can skip team data. We'll have the import log. If you import any database, all right, any type of CSV file, not only can you see the date that it was imported, so we imported this on March 19th at 1:34. All right, I can see when it was completed, literally that same minute. But more importantly, I can see, all right, this is the amount of contacts that actually imported, and here are the amount of contacts that failed. All right, so I can actually go through and export the imported CSV file that I did, and I can even export the failed CSV file. All right, so let me move over real quick. There we go. All right, so I can download that CSV file again if I want to export it, and then more importantly, I can export the error file so I can see why did these 10 not import, or why did these 18 not import, and how can I fix that to get them to import properly. All right, in most cases, it's typically because another contact already had the email or the phone number, but I just want to give you a heads up, you can download these directly. All right. Now getting into the really big part that I wanted to talk about though. All right, now we're going to have our Connect settings. Let's go and click on that marketing profile on here. All right, so we're going to click on marketing profile under Connect settings real quick. All right, so let's go and click on marketing profile on here. Awesome. All right, now the marketing profile that we're actually taking a look at on here, just to give you a heads up, this is all of our information that's going to auto-populate on our marketing pieces at the end of the day. All right, so all marketing pieces. All right, so this is going to display over on our landing pages. It's going to display, over on, I'm trying to think of all the additional places on there. Over on our IDX site, over on our app as well. So a bunch of different locations that'll actually pop up on here. So I just want to give you a heads up on this one. All right. So with that being said on here, though, we'll want to go through and actually update this as much as possible. All right, so I just want to let you know about that. All right, so first thing first, once we're actually on the marketing profile, as you can see, this will help you create marketing content easier and faster. All right, check what do you want to include in the marketing profile template and reuse on different materials. All right, the biggest thing is you can update this at any time. Nothing is set in stone. All right, now only the items on here that will actually say required are items that you would actually need to put inside on here. So I just want to give you a heads up on that. All right, so anything that does show required on here, you will need to actually add in. All right, so with that being said on here, if we want to actually go through and add inside our headshot, it will need to be approximately a square to fit inside this circle on here. I always sound so funky saying that. I just want to give you a heads up. But in this case, you will need a square to fit inside the circle. All right, because that way it's actually going to crop off the edges on here. So I just want to give you a heads up on that one. All right. Now you can just click that upload button and that'll upload that headshot immediately on here. You can also upload your team logo as well. All right, but then as you can see, if we scroll down, we can add inside our first name, we can add inside our last name, our license number, our team. All right, now once again, the information that we have on here, just to give you guys a heads up, if it doesn't have the word required next to it or a red asterisk, you can actually leave that as is. All right, so I just want to give you guys a heads up, just to, to take a look at everything, see if you want to kind of update anything real quick before we move on. All right, that's why there's been a little bit more of a pause right now. I want to give you guys a little bit of time to kind of play around with everything. All right. But when moving down on here, and scroll down even further, we can add inside our bio as well. As you can see, this bio will be used when you are found via an agent search on KW.com or your Market Center site as well. All right, but we can put inside our phone number, our office phone, our email, our website. One thing to take into account for this website on here, you will need to put inside that https://. All right, so you will need the https:// on here. I just want to give you a heads up on that one. All right, that will help for this to actually display properly over on the KW.com site when people are looking at your profile. All right, but as you can see, we can add inside our brokerage DBA logo. We can add inside our brokerage name on here, our brokerage office phone number, our address, city, state, zip, city, province, postal code. All right, there's a bunch of different items that are accessible for us to add inside. All right, including social media information. You can add inside a Facebook pixel that'll link back up with obviously your website, so you can track obviously all the different ads going through. Same with Facebook Analytics or your branded app URL. All right, but once you've updated anything or you've actually gone through and completed this, just click that save option at the very bottom, and this will save everything immediately for you. Now, one thing to note about this site, though, is that everything on here can be edited at any time. All right, nothing is set in stone by any means. All right, so once I click this save option on here, all right, so as you can see, your marketing profile was successfully saved. From now, it'll make your work easier and will be helpful in auto-completion of many templates and marketing materials. Remember, you can edit it inside the settings anytime you want to. So if you receive a new phone number, a new email address, you can update this right away. All right, I just want to give you a heads up on there. All right, now there's nothing under global settings or command, MC settings or anything like that quite yet. So we can just skip over that completely. All right, so now that we've spent a good portion of this class just going over the basics and getting everything prepped and ready on here, all right, now we can actually go through all the different applications. And one final thing I want to point out too, because I can guarantee at the very end I'm going to be rushing because I always am trying to get this into 1 hour. Right up here where it says use my information on my branded agent site, you'll have this button as well over on your consumer section. Here's that consumer section on here. You want to make sure that this is selected as green. So we want to make sure the button's on the right hand side, because this will actually pull all of this info to display on your consumer site properly. All right, so this is where your name, this is where your email, your phone number, your logo on here, your headshot will actually pull to that site to utilize. So make sure this button is green. All right, so moving right along though, let's go through all these applications. Sorry, so we've already gone over the home section. All right, so now let's go to the contact section real quick. I'm going to click on that because it'll change colors on here so we can see where we clicked on. All right, so I'm going to push this out real quick just so we can see the contact section was clicked on. There we go, and I'll give you guys a second for it to pull up onto your screen as well. Awesome. All right. So once we're under our contact section, now just to give you guys a heads up, we actually have a class purely on database management. And you're going to hear me say that a bunch inside this class today because we are going to go through everything, relatively quickly just to give you an overview as to where everything's located. But the reason I'm going to actually specify like, hey, we actually have, a class on all of this is that I want you to know that, hey, at the end of the day, in this case, whenever we're going through it, if we don't cover something, we're actually going to cover it in a 1-hour overview instead in one of our future courses. All right, so this is really just to give you an idea as to where everything's located and kind of the main ideas to how to utilize it. All right, so this is our contact section, obviously. This is going to be your main CRM backend. All right, so it's kind of, I don't want to say it's your address book because it's way beyond that, but this is obviously where you're going to have all your contacts. All right, so in this case, as we're seeing, I'm going to push that back over so we can see more. These are all of our contacts that we've either added in manually, we've set up through PySync, these are new leads that have come in, or that we've imported. All right, so we have a bunch of different options as to how these contacts came to be on here. Now, with that being said, we're always going to be able to see our names over here on the left-hand side, and you can actually see any new leads that have come in because it'll have the little L circle on here, or I guess L logo icon, however you want to consider it. All right, so that's a brand new lead that either came in from our landing page, from any of our ads we have running, from our website, from our app, or maybe we just added the contact and checked off they were a lead. All right, but now we can actually see some additional columns over here too. All right, so we can actually see, all right, when was the last time they were contacted? When was the last time they actually visited our site or anything of that sort? All right, what is their primary phone number, their primary email? Now, these columns that we have on here are not set in stone. So very similar to that home page where you can actually customize the home page, you can customize the column layout as well. All right, so if you want to go on here and say like, hey, I don't need to know when they were last contacted, but I do need to know when I added them so I know who I'm contacting recently. All right, you can actually click on Customize Columns on here and specify which columns you want to use and how you want to organize them. All right, so I just want to give you a heads up on here. All right. Now, with that being said, you can also come over here, you can import any contacts from a CSV file. So it does need to be from a CSV file, stands for comma separated values. It's basically an Excel file at the end of the day. All right, or you can add a contact individually. Now, a cool part about Command is that in order to add a contact, you really don't need much at all. All right, so much like other, platforms, you typically would need a name and you need some type of contact. All right, so in this case, if you want to add inside a contact, you can click the Add Contact button, and as long as you add in their name, that's it. All right, you don't need to worry about adding inside an email. You don't have to worry about adding in a phone number. You can add that later on. All right, now obviously adding in that additional info will help with your database health, but at the end of the day, you just need a name on here to help out. All right, now you can also go through, sorry about that, you can also filter out contacts as well on here too. All right, so in this case, if you want to search for specific contacts, you're definitely more than welcome to. You can actually search by their name on here. So if I just want to search for Brittany, for instance, then that'll pop up immediately. I can filter out all the contacts as well over here on the right-hand side, and I can even show all my contacts. I can show leads that have come in, shared contacts. I can sort by tags on here. All right, so a bunch of different options will actually pop up for me to sort by and filter. And another cool item that you can actually utilize is you can set up these smart views. Now, much like over on your website where clients will actually utilize the site to save a search, for instance, and they'll come back and they say, hey, I'm looking for a 3-bed, 2-bath, $300,000 home in these areas. And they'll come back to your site and it'll automatically pull up that same save criteria that they can utilize. All right, well, this is going to be the same idea over here, but for how you're viewing the contacts. So you can actually make these different smart views to display them immediately. All right, so I just want to give you a heads up. All right, so before we move on to actually clicking on a contact, real quick, a couple questions came in. How can we share a contact? You can click on the checkbox on the left-hand side of the contacts that you want to share, up to 50 at a time. All right, and under this bulk actions option, there is a share contact section on here. As long as you're linked up with your team, all right, then you can actually share it with your team immediately. All right, so I just want to give you a heads up on that. And the other one was, can you make the columns narrower? You can. All right, so if you put your cursor between each column, you're going to see this little, it's kind of hard to see on my screen. All right, but it'll actually pop up. So here's my cursor up here, right here. All right, if I scroll down, then we can actually see the line with an arrow pointing left and right. If I hold down on my left mouse button, I can actually make that narrower, or I can make it longer on here too. All right, so completely up to you guys. All right, so I'm going to click on one of these contacts though, just to get an idea as to what the back end looks like before we move on. All right, and as you can see under the contact section, on the left-hand side, we're going to have all of their info. All right, so the left-hand side is going to be all the information we have on the contact. All right, so we're going to have their health score. We're going to have their name. We're going to have what type of contact they are up here. And obviously, I can uncheck this lead option just to make them a contact instead. All right, if we scroll down, I can actually see, or well, I don't even need to scroll down, but I can see the tags I have set up for them. Their contact information on here, phone number, email. I can see right on here, all right, what's the lead source? When they came in, how did they become a lead? All right, what stage are they in? Do we have any neighborhoods set up for them? And you can actually click the Add Neighborhood option. Now, the cool part about this, and this is why I always spend so much time on the contacts, all right, is you can actually set up neighborhoods on here, and this will create a link that the contact can use that's going to be specific for them. So the big thing you'll hear from KW is that command is built for one-to-one interaction. And what that really means is instead of saying, hey, go to my website and you can search for any property you want to, you can actually build out these kind of, I don't want to say standard, but these custom sites on here that are just for your clients to use. So by adding inside this West End Avenue that we have for Bailey on here, I can copy this link and I can send it to her and say, hey, here's your website where you can actually stay up to date with these neighborhoods that you're interested in. Or you can click the Add Neighborhood option on this to actually utilize. So to give you an idea as to what that'll look like, and I promise we're going to move on. I'm not going to spend a whole hour on contacts. All right, but then this is an idea as to what this will actually look like. So we can see, all right, well, this is for Bailey to utilize directly. All right, so here's West End Avenue. She can add inside her own neighborhoods. We can see all the properties that are available on here. All right, we can come over here and view the neighborhood stats as well. All right, so these URLs that you'll see under the neighborhoods are for that specific contact to use only. All right, or we can see additional contact information on here too. And then on the right-hand side, we can actually see the timeline. All right, so all the new items that have recently come in from this contact on here. All right, so we can actually go through and see, all right, what have they done recently? So on March 19th, they subscribed to a neighborhood, West End Avenue. They unsubscribed from Berry Hill and from 8th Avenue South. All right, then we can actually go over here and see, are they part of any opportunities? Do we have them on any smart plans? Are there any tasks for them? Any notes on here? Any saved searches that they've created or we've created for them that'll automatically send them new properties that have come out? All right, so we can utilize that right away. All right, or there's even a plus sign at the bottom down here where we can add inside a new activity, we can add inside a new note, or even a new calendar event. All right, so this is all accessible under your contacts. Now, one big thing, and then this is the last thing I'm going to talk about on contacts. All right, the max amount that you can actually show at a time is 50. All right, so on here, as you can see, we can actually show, usually the default is 10, then you can show 25 or 50 at a time. All right, that is the max amount that you're able to actually show per each page, but you can always click this arrow button to move between pages. All right, so we do have a class purely on database management, so I'm not going to stick on that too much longer. All right, but the next item we're going to have down on here is the task section. All right, so under the task section on here, sorry, I took a drink real quick. Throat's getting dry over here, talking as quick as possible, it feels like. All right. So under the task section, this is where you can actually add inside any task you may need to complete. Now, once again, this could be a task that you've added in. It could be a task from your smart plans. It could be a task from your opportunities. All right. At the end of the day, though, this will display all tasks that are currently available for you. Or you can actually come up here and view the task today that are past due, that are due within a week, due within 30 days or a month, the past week, past month, all time, a custom range. All right, you can also create a task up here at the top right as well. All right, so I just want to give you a heads up. You can actually make a task, and you can even assign that task to a contact. All right, so at the end of the day, whenever you're actually adding in this task, you can say, hey, this task is for Bailey Smith to utilize. All right, and then that way it'll link up with them immediately. All right, now with that being said, you can also see beyond your tasks to do, you can see your completed task or even your archived ones. Now this will also display under your task manager inside Kelly. So if you have not downloaded the Kelly app that's available for you, I'd highly suggest doing that because that'll be your mobile AI assistant. All right, and that'll actually display all your tasks on here too, so you can see them of what you need to do each day. All right, and all you'd have to do is just click that Create New Task option, and that'll allow you to go through and create that immediately. All right, so moving right along though, because I know we're getting a little bit behind right now. All right, so the next item we're going to have are the smart plans. All right, so these are all of your different smart plans that you can actually utilize at the end of the day. All right. Now, there are about 10 different smart plan options that are available for you to use. All right, and these are all different items that KW has come out with. Or, outside of that, you can also now click the Create option and start your own custom smart plan at the end of the day, too. All right, so I just want to give you a heads up, you can actually start this from scratch. Now, the biggest misconception I always hear is that a smart plan is an email campaign. All right, there are emails inside smart plans, but there's actually a bunch you can do on here. All right, so you can actually set this up to send out text messages. You can set it up for task or reminders for you. You can set it up for you to call people. All right, so it's not just email focused only. All right. Now, if you don't see any smart plans currently under your My Smart Plans section under the People Plans, all right, you can always click the library option up here to view all the different smart plans immediately that are already set up for you to use. Now, once again, these are all the ones that KW has created on here, or of course, you can always go through and create your own too. All right, so I just want to give you a heads up, at the end of the day, you are more than welcome to create your own smart plan. All right, you can actually get an idea as to what's in each step on here too, along with how many steps, how many durations, and how many touches are inside it, along with an idea of this. So it's not download my app, it's called promote my app, which is probably a better idea than download my app. So there you go. All right, so I've added these in because I clicked the Add Smart Plan options. That's why these are all available under My Smart Plan section. Now, one thing to note, even though they are all set up on here, and good, it looks like they may have gotten rid of that, so that's awesome. All right, so in this case, they're all set up on here. They're not going to be active, though, unless you have a contact in it. So as you can see, I have one contact in here. Here's the eyeball for it. So all these other ones that I currently have, quote-unquote, set up are not active quite yet. All right, now we can see the duration for all of these, and we can see the total touches on here, too. All right, but unless they have a person added on here, they're not going to send out. All right, but we can always click the little Add Contact option. Under some of these, you can click the copy option, so you can actually make a copy of it to edit it yourself. You can obviously edit it, or of course we can click the delete option if we want to delete this altogether too. All right, and of course you can always click on these as well to see what's inside that smart plan. So this one is 3 different steps on here. So we're going to send an HTML email. All right, on here there's going to be a little bit of a delay of 30 days, and then it's going to repeat again. All right, so it's going to constantly go through. All right, so that's just kind of the smart plans in a nutshell. So a question did come in, is it possible to print out all of your contacts in Command? Yes, but only 50 at a time. All right, so if you do go back through the contacts section, I'll show this real quick and then we got to keep moving on. If you click this little checkbox at the top left and you're viewing all 50 right now, once you click that checkbox, then you can actually export your contacts down here. And you can even export mailing labels, but you're only able to do 50 at a time. So if you have 200 contacts, for instance, all right, then in this case, you'd have to do 4 CSV files on there. All right. Now, the next big thing that we're actually seeing on here is the referral section. Now, if you utilize the KW Connect referral section, this is going to be almost identical for you. All right, so this is where you can actually start to add people to your referral network so you can send and receive referrals to them or with them. All right, so this is a great way to actually build your referral network through KW. All right, so this is all going to be intra-company referrals at the end of the day. All right, so you can actually see how many pending invites you currently have. So it looks like I've got 83 people that want to be my friend on the back end on here. I can actually see how many pending referrals I have set up, how many received, or how many sent as well. All right, so that way I can actually view all the different referral information on here. All right. Now with that being said on here, I can also go through and view my referral network information too. All right, so I can actually go through and see, all right, who's currently in my referral network that I might want to send stuff out to. All right, or at the very top up here, I can actually see, all right, under my referrals, I can actually see any referrals that I currently have active right now that I'm utilizing. All right, I can go through and I can view the map section on here too if I want to actually send out a referral to people in a specific location. All right, and I can even search the map and see it based on production, based on market centers, all right, based on my network, or even referral patterns on here too. All right. All right, and then of course we also happen to have the My Network section on here too, where you can actually go through once again and view that as well. All right, so I just want to give you a heads up on this. And of course you can also go through and click that new referral option at the top right. All right, so there you go. Just want to give you a heads up on that one. This is a great way to access it. So a question came in about email campaigns already created. So in theory, that'll technically be under the smart plan section. There aren't just specific only email campaigns, but all the smart plans will have email options on there too. All right. So outside of that, we are going to have the opportunity section. We got about 7-ish, 10-ish minutes left. All right, so I just want to give you a heads up on here. All right, so with that being said on here, perfect. Once we actually click on this, all right, then we can actually view all the different, on here, opportunities that we actually have set up on here. All right. So just to give you a heads up under the opportunity section, this is where we can actually see that lead to close transaction process. All right, so the lead to close transaction process on here. So I just want to give you a heads up with that one. All right. Now, as you can see, you can actually add inside listings on here. All right, you can put inside a buyer option. I read business somewhere else. All right, or of course, you can even add inside leases on here too, and this will allow you to track your contacts through that entire process. All right, so I just want to give you a heads up on here. All right. And of course, you can always click the Create Opportunity option at the top right up here as well. Now, the cool part about this is this will actually take you through the entire process to go through and basically add inside your contact to track them. All right, so now we can actually see whenever we have a brand new lead, all right, they're in the cultivate phase on here. All right, and then of course we can move that along over to the appointment phase. Are they active? Are they under contract? Are they closed? This information on here will also update over inside our goals and our tracking that we have for the 2020 goals. But then we can also see what our potential income is, our probable income, all right, a bunch of different information that's available on here. All right. Now, beyond that, you can also view all of your opportunities at any time, or you can even view all discussions if you are on a team. I just want to give you a heads up on that one. All right, and you can even import if you are utilizing .loop, for instance, to import this over immediately too. All right, so that way you can start those opportunities right away. Now, this will be a great way to track where your buyers are, where your sellers are, or your renters at any time, so you can actually see where they are in the pipeline. This is going to give you full transparency on everything, and if you're on a team, it's going to help out to keep track of that too. All right, so I just want to give you a heads up on here. All right, and once again, we do have a class purely on opportunities. All right, so if you want to access our opportunities class, we do have that, and that's actually coming up, I believe. Oh, geez, it's the last Friday of each month, so it should be coming up pretty soon, actually. Now, inside opportunities, though, you will have the access or the accessibility, and let's open this up so I can show it to you real quick. I'm going to open up this one as an example. All right, you'll have the option to actually access all the different documents on here, too. All right, so I just want to give you a heads up. You can actually set up DocuSign or .loop on here. All right, so that way you can actually sync all those different e-signature platforms to utilize on here to add over. All right, and this is how you will get paid. All right, so double check with your office though, because each office is obviously a little bit different at the end of the day. All right, so they're a little bit different. So in this case, you're going through, you might utilize the commission section. All right, or you might actually still be utilizing green sheets then. All right, so I just want to give you a heads up on here. All right, so double check with the office to see if they have officially moved to commissions quite yet. All right, and a question came in about the website. We're going to get to that, I promise. All right, now the next thing we're going to see under opportunities will be our campaign section. All right, so under the campaign section on here. All right. So under the campaign section on here, this is where you can actually go through and access all of your free and paid campaigns. All right, free and paid on here. All right. So with that being said, the free options that you're going to have are going to be the email section. All right, because technically this is going to send an email from MailChimp. All right, so it's going to send an email from MailChimp on here. All right, and this will automatically send out for you. Now remember, MailChimp is free for 2,000 contacts or less. All right, or of course, you even have the option to post out on your social media platforms. All right, so in this case, if you want to post out over on Facebook or Twitter, you're definitely more than welcome to. All right, and you do have paid options too. If you want to utilize Facebook ads, for instance, all right, you can actually do that through the paid ad on here. You can do that through Google AdWords too. All right, so this will have the social ad or even the Google ad option. All right, then there's even direct mail too if you want to send out any type of postcard mail out. All right, so all these are options that are available for you, and they are accessible if you click on the Create a New Campaign option at the top right. So you can actually make a social ad, you can make a Google search ads, like when you go on Google and you notice that the top ones always say ad next to it. This is how you could actually create one on here. All right, you can actually do a social post to post out on Facebook or Twitter, to your Facebook page that is, or your Twitter account, not the Facebook profile. All right, you can do a direct mail piece or an email one. Now once again, in order to actually utilize all these items on here with the exception of direct mail, you want to make sure that you have those applications set up under the settings section. All right, so you want to make sure you have that set up under the settings section on here. If you want to post out on Facebook, if you want to do a Google AdWords campaign, all right, if you want to actually post on Twitter, you'll need to have that linked under your settings on here for those apps that we first talked about in the beginning of the class. All right. So that's all available for you to utilize on here under the campaign section. Once again, we purely have a class only on the campaigns and how to utilize all 4 of these. All right, now there is a report section on Command too. Now, unlike the report section on MyKW, this one's a little bit more about just Command in general. All right, so on here you can actually see how you're doing on Command and how you can best utilize everything. All right, so the reports over on MyKW are more about, your actual statistical reports at the end of the day, whereas this is going to be about Command, obviously. All right, so on the dashboard, we can actually see our database overview on here. How many contacts do we have? How many leads do we have? All right, we can see our database health down here and some additional items we may want to add in, like home anniversary and birthday, in order to get that up to 100%. All right, if we scroll up, we can actually go over to our reports section on here too, where we can view reports on our opportunities. We can view reports on our database, on our goals to see how close we are to everything. All right, this is also where you can access that goals tracker. All right, so in the very beginning of the class when I was talking about the home page, I said, hey, here are our goals. Well, this is where you can actually go through and set everything and set the new goals for 2020. All right, so then we can actually see based on what we want to hit. All right, so I want to actually make $100,000 this year. I have $41,000 that I actually need to expense, or I guess in this case someone changed my example to 115. That's okay. All right, so I want to make 115,000. All right, and I have 141 that I actually need to hit. Well, this is how many leads I need, how many contacts from those leads, how many appointments set, appointments kept, agreements, so on and so forth, in order to actually hit that goal. Now, obviously, this is going to be a rough estimate at the end of the day, so I just want to give you a heads up. So this is basically saying that, in my case, every home that I help buy or sell is $300,000 at 3% commission. All right, so that way it's $9,000 I would receive for each home. All right, so this is just going to take a very rough estimate. Well, obviously, some homes might be more than $300,000. Some homes might be less. All right, so this is just kind of making the average on there. All right, or of course, we also happen to have this email section on here too, where we can actually get an email usage report that we can take a look at right away too. All right, so a question came in about the opportunities class. That is going to be on the 24th of the month, so next Friday. All right. So we can actually see on here about the email usage. How many emails have we sent out this month? How many have been clicked on? How many have been opened, replied, undelivered? People that have unsubscribed from receiving our emails or marked as spam. We can actually see that immediately on here. All right, now the final couple items, I'm going to go through this pretty quickly. I'm so sorry. I know I'm running after time. I always do this. All right, but then we're going to have the design section. This is where you can actually create all of your designs, whether it's going to be a social piece, a print piece. All right, you can go through and create an email on here. You'll see they're all segmented out at the end of the day. All right, so if I want to edit the email pieces I've looked at or I've saved, or I want to edit the landing pages that I've created on here, the social media pieces that I've saved on here, all right, you're definitely more than welcome to. All right, or even in this case, we can also go through and edit the back end of our agent site as well. All right, so I just want to give you a heads up on here. All right, now with that being said, I can always click the plus sign down here to actually edit these even further. So I can edit the email, I can edit the social, I can edit the print, video, or I can even import my own PDF to edit that as well too. It'll make it editable and reverse engineer it. Now, social and print are where you're going to find all the templates that people are talking about. All right, so this is going to link you up with WeBrand at the end of the day, and this will be all the different templates that you can use right away. All right, finally on here, we're going to have the listing section. Well, not finally, almost finally. All right, this is going to be the KWLS 2.0. All Alright, so this is the new KWLS that's going to sync all the different listings from all the different boards to the back end on here. Alright, so the KWLS on MyKW is obviously just for Keller Williams listings. The 2.0 version is going to be for every listing. Alright, so they're actually getting all the different boards to syndicate over here at the end of the day. Alright, so if you want to access the KWLS 2.0 to actually search for different listings, you're definitely more than welcome to. Now, once again, this is a sneak peek, so it's not 100% active quite yet. Alright, it is still being updated on here. As you can see, stay tuned for improved speed and accuracy. Alright, and then listings that appear in other applications like Kelly. They say Lead Accelerator, but the campaign section, alright, will soon reflect this new listing feed too. So you can always access that right away. Alright, now you can skip over Insights. I'm not 100% sure what might be going on with Insights right now, so I'm kind of telling everyone just to, hold still for a while to see what's happening on here. This is supposed to actually help you out to kind of show like Yelp or like Google Maps basically of where you can actually see all these different locations on here and what you might want to actually feature on your app or around your sites or anything like that of what's located near you. Alright, but I would hold still right now on the Insights. But the final one, and the question that came in about the website, there is a section at the bottom called Consumer. Alright, and if you can't see this, please zoom out on your web browser. Alright, if you're on a PC, Control and the minus key, or if you're on a Mac, Command and the minus key will zoom out immediately. Alright, so once we actually click on Consumer, this is where we can see all the different landing pages we have created on here. Alright, we can see all the different agent site pages we've created. We can view the guide builder for our app, basically. We can go through the site and app settings to edit the back end of our site right away, right? Our IDX site. We can click on Create a New Site to actually create a brand new page on our agent site, or even a new landing page on here too. Alright, so all this will be accessible under this Consumer section. And if you haven't set up your site quite yet, make sure you click on that Configure Your Site option at least once, so that'll take you through the process to set up that new IDX site immediately. Alright, your new .kw.com site. Whew, alright. Deep breaths. Alright, so that is going to be it for our KW Command overview class on 414. So that is a complete overview of the entire KW Command platform in one 60-minute full-powered class that'll hopefully give you an idea as to how you can now access and utilize everything that's available. Now remember, this class is obviously pretty fast-paced and it's meant to show you around more than actually do stuff, but all of these pieces on here that we went over, alright, they're all covered in our 1-hour classes that'll actually dive deeper into them that you can actually do with us. Alright, so there you go. So thank you so much for coming to the class today.